Number 5. What did it feel like to kill someone? I don't know. Let's see. Killing someone, even having to kill the enemy, is something you never forget. You don't forget that. You bring that pain and guilt home with you, and the shame and all that, because it's the breaking of your moral code. It doesn't matter how old you are. It just never leaves you. People learn to live with it, and it can also shape their lives. And it can also lead them down a dark path, and the best thing to do is not remind them of that. By asking them this, you're asking them to possibly respond to the worst day in their life that they've ever had. So why would you do that? You might want to get to know a veteran before you even start asking these questions in conversation, but I doubt it. It's really none of your business. If they want you to know, they'll tell you. A lot of times they don't even tell their spouses, so why the hell would they tell you? I just don't know why you would feel the need to do this. The only thing I can think of is you're just selfish and you're trying to figure out a few things or figure out why someone's acting that way, or just your own curiosity. At the end of the day, just shut up and just go away and don't ask that question if you feel you need to. Number 4. How could you kill someone? Well, this question just screams that you're judging me. The best answer is because they were trying to kill me and my people. This question causes veterans to feel they're being judged and they're being questioned with their morals. The reality is they were doing their job, just like you go crunch your numbers at work, or you go do whatever you do at work. You go, it doesn't matter if it's cars or whatever. It's their job. The reality is in war people are killed, and it's just a part of it. And that has to be accepted. Again, I would ask this question. Would you kill someone that they were threatening your family? And what you need to realize is the folks that they serve with and are in combat with are their family at that time. They're their family of choice, their family of situation. So basically what they're doing is they're killing people to protect their family, just like you would. Number 3. How many people have you killed? Again, nobody really knows because you're using the spray and pray method. You don't know whether you killed somebody or somebody else did when you're in combat a lot of times. Unless you're a sniper, then you'll have a number. But it's still inappropriate to ask that question. Most combat vets don't have that number. Combat is chaotic, and you really don't know what the deal is sometimes, except for you're just shooting and returning fire. It's hard to tell where your bullets go in combat. But I've got one question for you. Have you walked up to your local gang member and asked that question? So why would you ask a veteran? Do you assume that it's okay just because someone is a veteran and you assume that they served in combat? It doesn't make them someone that's killed before. Not everybody in the military goes into combat. Their focus was on trying to save themselves and their units. This can cause a host of emotions and anger, and I don't know why you would be so callous to ask a question like that. Don't be surprised if a veteran comes back as a smartass, gets angry and lashes out and shuts down. They could go into a depression. They could feel the shame, the guilt. They could start mistrusting civilians and not knowing where the next stupid question is going to come from. And they could also increase their risk of suicidal thoughts. So just don't ask that question, please. Number 2, did you kill anyone? We've pretty much gone over a lot of the things, but this is a direct answer that a lot of people have asked, so it is probably one of the stupidest, if not the stupidest question. I put it as number 2, and we'll get into that later. But, I don't know where to start with the question, did you kill anyone? What the hell business is it of yours? Of all the questions people ask, this is the most common and inappropriate one of all of them. This pretty much assumes that all people in the military have combat experience, and that's not the case. If they had to kill someone, it's causing the veteran all kinds of pain and anguish for the rest of their lives, and you shouldn't ask them to relive that just because of your curiosity. Sometimes they get past it and they just want to move on and they don't want to be reminded of it, and asking that question can remind them of it. And this is one of the questions that a lot of times people don't say they're veterans because they're worried that they're going to get asked this question. This question shows that you're okay with asking someone because of your curiosity, and it supersedes the well-being of the person who fought to protect your freedoms. So think about it that way. These people who have gone to war and gone to combat have done so to protect your freedoms, and you're harming them by asking this question because of your curiosity or stupidity. I don't know which one. It can also make them relive what they had to do. Again, like before, it can cause a person to become a smartass, get angry, lash out or shut down, feel shame, guilt, mistrust civilians, and often can lead to suicidal thoughts because they have to deal with this. I've heard a lot of answers to this question, and a lot of veterans will have a smartass answer and respond something along the lines of, "Not yet, should I start with you? Why don't you take off for a run and we'll see if I can hit you?" I've also heard it was, "Nam, what do you think?" Any way you look at it, this is a question you should never ask a veteran because it brings up way too much shit. And we've reached the end. Number 1, thank you for your service. Now, I'm going to qualify this. This is a hard one because a lot of us are okay with this comment, but some aren't. Because in reality, you don't know what you're thanking them for. You may be thanking them for killing someone when they're dealing with that. You may have been thanking them for putting themselves in position to lose someone. You may be thanking them for shooting a child. You may be thanking of them for leaving their families. You may be thanking them for having shitty relationships with their kids because they were gone. You don't know what you're thanking them for. Now, we appreciate it. We know that people have good intentions with this comment. We really do. A lot of us don't get angry about it, and it's kind of not an inappropriate comment, but the reality is I just want you to know what's happening when you do it. We do appreciate your support. We want your support. But again, you really don't know, unless you know someone, what you're thanking them for. A lot of times veterans say this to other veterans because we know where to stop. We know where to end it. As a civilian, you got to know what you might be bringing up. Sometimes this also causes them to, you're thanking them for breaking their moral code. Veterans often feel like that civilians don't have a clue what they had to do over in the war zone, and they really don't know. In reality, when people thank me for my service, I usually feel uncomfortable and awkward because I don't think I did anything special. I did my job just like anyone else. It's kind of like saying, people ask you all the time how you doing, and you really don't know how I'm doing fine. They really don't want to know the answer. It can feel like an empty gesture. And a lot of veterans feel like it's a civilian's way of dealing with their guilt for not going in themselves. The best way to thank a veteran for their service is to use the rights that we fought for. Protest when necessary, use your voice, and most of all, vote. Vote for what you think is right. That's the best way you can thank us for our service. Also, it might be a good idea to start the conversation about their service without asking stupid questions. You can show interest in their service. What branch were you in? Where were you stationed? Where did you go? Where were you? That's a pretty safe question to ask. And most folks will tell you. Don't be discouraged if they don't engage. Some vets just want to be left alone, and some are suffering from PTSD, and they just don't want to be bothered, and they fear the stupid questions. Just remember that PTSD can still be seen in World War II, Korea, Vietnam veterans, and Gulf War veterans. It's only been brought to light recently. And the reality is PTSD, it doesn't matter what era it's in, it lingers forever. And some of the stuff you bring back a lot of bad memories. It also brings back a lot of good memories. A lot of veterans like to tell stories, and they usually tell good stories, funny stories, and stuff like that. That's the ones where you can engage. You can ask them, you had any funny stories? Because I've heard an awful lot of other vets, and they'll tell you some funny stories. That's possibly a way to engage. Some veterans may say, okay, here comes a stupid question when you engage. I guess the best way to look at it is show sincere interest in their service and don't ask stupid questions. I hope this series has helped you, and I hope you've enjoyed listening to my commentary about it, and I appreciate your support. Disclaimer. I'm a licensed mental health therapist in California. If you're searching for mental health help, please reach out to someone in your state. If you are within California, you can reach me at the email below. And if you're interested in coaching anywhere in the United States, you can reach out below also. These videos are for educational purposes only, and if you're thinking about suicide, please reach out and call 911.